Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of Comic Book Confidential, the comic book show where we like to bust open the case files presented to you in the comic industry by your favorite creators, storylines, comics, news, what have you. I'm your host for this week, Matt, and as with me always is...
Hi, I'm Jay.
Mr. J, the legend himself, Jay
Oh.
Castro. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. Man, I hate this camera, dude. It sucks. It's
yeah,
like,
you're right.
I
thought you were a different person when I first joined the room. You look like a little Danny DeVito.
Yeah, I don't like it.
With that being said, I feel like we got a good episode for you guys tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about Joker Folie à Deux. We're going to dive into the meat and potatoes of Absolute Batman #1. Wish Corbin could be here for this. But he's off doing Corbin-esque things. But I think you and I can handle it.
Corbin's out there surviving. He's fighting the good fight.
We'll talk a little bit about the books we picked up this week from our LCSs and about what we're looking forward to next week.
Yeah.
So, getting into it, the little meat and potatoes of it here, we had a little bit of casting for the upcoming Lantern series, where we had our Jonathan Stewart finally cast. What do you think about the casting in Lanterns?
I think it's pretty cool so far. It's kind of interesting that they chose that dude that's kind of old for Hal Jordan. Is he supposed to be Hal Jordan?
The dude, I can't think of his name, from Friday Night Lights, is supposed to be Hal Jordan.
The coach. Who's the coach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be awesome, but he's a little long in the tooth.
They cast, Aaron Pierre? Or Pierre or something like that as Jonathan Stewart.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're talking just before the show. I don't know who that dude is, but he looks just like Jon Stewart.
Yeah, he does. He looks just like him. I'm not very familiar with his work. I'm trying to find like his IMDb to see what. I'm sure I butchered his name because I suck at pronouncing names. But I'm not familiar with his work. I'm trying to pull up his IMDb page right now. So we need to get a producer to do this stuff.
I know.
He was in, I guess he's voicing a character in the Mustafa Lion King prequel. He was in the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Didn't see that.
He was in the new Little Mermaid, the new live-action Disney Little Mermaid.
Was he the Little Mermaid?
Does not say who he was.
Damn it.
He was not the Little Mermaid, though. He was unfortunately not Ariel.
I don't know. I don't know who he is. But like I said, physically, dude's spot on. And who's playing Guy Gardner?
That's a good question.
I saw the casting of them. I saw his cast.
Wasn't it Nathan Fillion?
Yeah, that's right.
Nathan Fillion's playing Guy Gardner.
That's all right, I guess. They better dye his hair red.
I saw him. They have set pictures from the Superman movie, and he's got the. No, is he Guy Gardner? Or is he Kyle
Rayner?
I can't remember who he's playing now. This is.
Why the hell are there so many Green Lanterns in this Superman movie? Like, are they going to use this as like a launch pad to just launch all of these movies?
Which one is? I think Nathan Fillion is in. What's the name of the movie? Superman Legacy. That's coming out. Is that the name of Gunn's Superman?
I think Legacy? So. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it is. Nathan Fillion is Guy. Yeah, okay, yeah, he's Guy Gardner,
He makes a better Guy Gardner than he does a Kyle Rayner.
and
Kyle
he's
Rayner's like a
shown,
young dude.
with the little bowl cut
Oh,
and everything. So,
fantastic! That
from
shitty little.
set photos. So he's got the little bowl cut.
Nice. I'm excited for the bowl cut, and it better be orange too.
I don't know if I think it is. Let me
And
see
not
if I
orange,
can
but better be reddish.
Let me see if I can find the set photo here. We really need a producer. We need if you watch Seth Rogen, or not Seth Rogen, Joe Rogan. If you watch Joe Rogan, we need to be able to be like, all right, we need our own Jamie. Jamie, pull this up for me, please.
Yeah, but then we have to pay him, and
Yeah,
that's
we
no
can't
good.
even, we don't. Yeah,
There's
no payroll for that. I wish we had payroll.
I know.
There's a
I'd get myself
right.
a big carne asada burrito while we record if we had a payroll.
Well, I mean, you could do that without having a payroll, but
yeah, but it's much more enjoyable when it's free.
Let me pull it up here. If you can kind of see it right here.
Where am I looking?
Is it not sharing on the screen with you?
No, I see it, but there's several pictures.
Right here.
Sorry.
I'm sitting here moving it on one screen and I forgot I moved it to the other. Yeah, right here. It's kind of got the like bowl cut.
It's all right.
Image of it. It looks like it's more blonde than red.
You know what's weird is that
another image with Hawk Girl.
Boy, Hawk Girl's tiny. His suit looks more Kyle Rayner. Because look at Guy Gardner's. He's got like almost like the classic like leather jacket.
Yeah, they
like
all
the
kind
shot perfecto looking.
They don't have their typical Justice League suits on.
I wonder why. Like, why not? It would be just as hard to make, because it's not like the Justice League, like their regular suits look any more outlandish than what he's wearing on set. Like they could have just given him those lapels and
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Meh. I think they're overdoing it, and I think this isn't Lantern's gonna be an HBO Max product.
Oh, the series? Oh, yeah. It's gonna be a show.
So, who knows how well that's gonna go over?
I don't know, man. But if it's anything like Penguin, hopefully it's pretty good.
I'm still only on episode 1 of Penguin. I haven't yet to watch episode 2. What I've watched a bunch of movies, and it's been hard to catch up to it when trying to get my kids to go to bed because my kids don't like to sleep. So it's been hard to kind of find time to sit down and really watch it and pay attention to it. Because I came downstairs the other day and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go watch Penguin, and my wife was on the TV watching Love Is Blind on Netflix. So I was like, oh well, I guess I'm not watching Penguin. And I could have went upstairs, but then the moment I turned around, she's like, what, you don't want to spend time with me? I was like, damn it, I'm in the trap. I'm stuck.
Rather spend time with Penguin.
Yeah, I don't want to watch Love Is Blind, but usually she watches the stuff I want to watch and stuff, so I have to give it to her every once in a while.
Yeah. It's a little give, a little take.
Yeah. What can you do?
You need. What you got to do.
But what do you want to talk about next? Penguin, or do you want to, or not Penguin? Joker, or do you want to dive into a little bit of Batman, Absolute Batman?
I want to hear what your thoughts are on Joker, because clearly it's pretty much a universal misfire, and I want to know what you thought.
I will have a
I haven't
video.
seen it, so and I don't know if I'm
I
going
have
to.
my review video dropping soon, so you'll have to wait for that.
Oh, really?
I'm not gonna spoil it. I don't want to spoil my review video.
Oh.
No, I didn't care for it, man. Honestly, it picks up kind of 2 years after the first one. He's incarcerated. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched Joker yet and you want to. He's incarcerated at Arkham Asylum or Arkham County Hospital or whatever you want to call it.
Uh-huh.
And he doesn't even really talk for the first 30 minutes of the movie because he's all medicated out, and
Oh.
you see him going to meet with his lawyer who's trying to push this narrative that he's got like dissociative identity disorder or something like that, dual personalities, where Arthur Fleck himself isn't capable of committing these acts, but the Joker was, and that the Joker personality comes out to do things that Arthur can't physically do or wouldn't physically do, like harm people. And then as he's going to meet with his lawyer, he's like walks past a music class where he sees a waiting young woman who ends up being Harley Quinn, or Harleen Lee Quinzel, who you find out later has herself committed to the place just to get closer to Joker because she's got this fast like infatuation with the Joker and what he did.
Uh-huh.
And she tells Arthur this big story that, yeah, my dad used to beat me and then he died in a car crash and I tried to burn down my parents' apartment building, so that's why I'm in here. And it builds to like this whole thing, and she convinces him that, he's some celebrity and that he needs to stop taking his medication, so he does. And it just wasn't good, man. Like the musical aspect of it took away from it quite a bit. I don't know. I mean, I'll answer any questions you have. I don't want to take away from you seeing it if you want to see it, but
No, I'm not gonna see it. Like you just said,
I told you to save your money. I was like, just don't go spend your money on
Yeah.
something else.
I was so disappointed when I heard that, and I'm like, well, I don't I mean, no offense, but I don't always trust like one person. So that I'm like, well, maybe I'll see it anyway if
No,
everybody else
definitely
likes
always
it.
go see it to
You
form
know,
your own opinion. Don't
yeah.
listen to me. Don't listen to other critics.
And yeah, it's pretty much universally hated. And so I'm like, well,
It's a
you know,
very ambitious movie. It could have been great, but
okay.
it very much feels like Todd Phillips was annoyed that they asked him to make a second because he made it the original Joker was supposed to be standalone. It was more like he was pissed off that he had to make a second. So he's like, fine, if you want me to make you a second movie, I'm going to make it dog shit so that way you don't ask me for a third.
Hmm.
Because it felt like a jumbled up mess. And there were reports before that Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga were rewriting their script on the fly on bar napkins and crumpling them up. And,
That's what artists do.
well,
They don't follow a
because
set
the
script.
script didn't make sense. But so she gets him to put the Joker makeup back on, and then as he's in trial, he kind of fires his she gets out of Arkham, and she tells him that I don't know, man, he gets put in solitary confinement, and then she ends up there, she's getting released, and they bang out, and then she tells Arthur she's pregnant. It was very much a flip of the Joker Harley Quinn dynamic or origin, where Joker, she's a psychologist and Joker manipulates her and she becomes infatuated with him, and he kind of
Mhm.
uses her as his tool and abuses her and emotionally and physically. And this is kind of the flip where she's that emotional and physical abuser and he's kind of like the lovesick puppy. So she kind of strings him along, and to get him to turn into the Joker because she's infatuated with the Joker. She doesn't give two shits about Arthur, but
Uh-huh.
she's crazy about the Joker and what he did. And so, um, yeah, she ends up talking him into telling him that she's pregnant and talking him into firing her as lawyer, and then that's where he kind of starts defending himself as the Joker. He wears the clown makeup to the jail or not jail, but to the courthouse, and that's kind of when he becomes a Joker. And it's all really focused on these 6 murders that he committed. But when you start
Mhm.
thinking about it, it's like, wait, wasn't it more like 8? Because he kills the 3 Wall Street dudes in the subway.
Yeah.
He kills the dude that works with him at the clown place, the party place, in his apartment after he kills his mom. So there's 3, 4, and 5. So and then he
Yeah.
kills
Well, cutting out my fingers. Well,
then he
yeah.
kills Murray. So there's 6. But what about Zazie Beetz' character in the first movie? They kind of allude to that when he breaks in there, he kills her. So that would have been 7. And then the doctor at the very end of the movie, where he walks out with the bloody footprints, that'd have been 8. But I guess we're just supposed to think that he killed her in his head and just stepped in red paint as he was walking away.
Yeah, there was from what I remember, there was a lot of that where you could have kind of taken it where like, oh, is it his imagination or is
Well,
it,
that was
you
what
know,
the genius of the first one was, is Todd Phillips let the audience decide a lot of things. He didn't spoon feed it to you. He was like, you be the judge. You make it. Is this happening in his head? Is this real? But it kind of gives you the facade that it's real when he's walking out of the office and he's got the bloody
red?
footprints.
Yeah.
Um, but spoiler alert, you find out what happens to Zazie Beetz. She's not dead. Her character shows up to testify against Arthur, and she knows way more than she probably should about the events of the first movie, all in the convenient plot point that his equally crazy mother told her all about Arthur and Arthur's sickness and yada yada yada. Really,
Hmm.
the best part of the movie though is when Gary, the little dude from the first one, comes back, and him and Arthur's cross-examining him, and Gary says to him, pretty much kind of flips the script on him, and Gary's kind of like, Arthur, you were the only one that was ever nice to me. And, you traumatized me when you did what you did in the events of the first one. When you killed that dude right in front. I can't think of his name right now. When you killed that dude right in front of me in the first one, you traumatized me. And you kind of see Arthur have this like switch flip. And he starts saying, no more questions, no more questions. I'm done with this
Hmm.
facade of like imposter syndrome almost. And then at this whole trial, as he's defending himself, he kind of like calls out the guards at Arkham and talks shit on him. And so when he gets back to Arkham, these guards beat him down and almost kill him. And so he's kind of got like, he's a celebrity in the jail cell, and people are rooting in Arkham, and people are rooting for him. So he's kind of got like this little hype man crony with him that starts singing when the Saints go marching in, and the
Hype
guards tell
man.
him the guards tell him to shut up. He doesn't, so the guards end up like choking him out and killing him. So Arthur comes back to court the next day, and he kind of, giving his closing arguments, he kind of has this breakdown, and he admits that there is no Joker. He made the Joker up. Everything he did as Arthur Fleck. There is no multiple personality disorder. And the minute he kind of admits that, Harley stands up and walks out of the courtroom, and so do a lot of his followers. So
Hmm.
he gets found guilty, and as he's found guilty, a bomb goes off in the courtroom, blowing the wall out of the courtroom. And this whole time, he's being prosecuted by Harvey Dent, Two-Face. Well, when the bomb goes off, you see Two-Face kind of sitting up against the prosecution table, and half of his face is mangled in nod to his comic book counterpart.
Hmm.
So as Arthur kind of escapes, he's has a run in with a dude in full Joker cosplay, and the dude tries to like get Arthur out of there. And Arthur kind of has this like moment of like, I can't be this messiah you want me to be. I'm not that guy. And he takes off and gets away from the guy who's trying to smuggle him away. And he comes back to the stairs that you see him dance down on the first one, and waiting for him there conveniently is Harley Quinn, and she basically tells him like, you're not who I thought you were. um you know, and he says, well, what do you mean I thought you were pregnant? And she doesn't answer him. So she very much manipulated him into doing all these things to bring Joker out for her own pleasure. And when he says I'm not the Joker, she pretty much tells him to kick rocks and walks away. That's where you see her in the pictures where she's got like the short bob and like the really thick, like smoky eye going. That's at that scene. And then so Arthur is recaptured and he's going back to Arkham, and he's sitting there in the rec room smoking a cigarette, and he's told, "Hey Arthur, you have a visitor." And as he gets up to go see who his visitor is, this dude comes out who's kind of been lurking throughout the whole movie and asks if he can tell Arthur a joke. And Arthur kind of like being this big man now and being able to give somebody recognition because he knows what it's like to want that recognition that you're not getting, says, "All right, cool, go ahead and tell me the joke." So he tells him a joke, and the punchline is pretty much the same as the first. You get what you fucking deserve. And the dude shanks Arthur in the stomach like 10 times.
Damn.
So Arthur falls on the ground, and as he's dying, the camera pans in on his face, where in the background you see the dude sitting there take the shiv and cut a smile into his face, carve a smile into his face with it kind of felt like a very subtle nod to Heath Ledger's Joker.
Oh yeah, subtle.
Yeah. And I mean, it totally doesn't make sense because the ages don't match up because this movie's in the 80s and all that. But yeah, and then Arthur dies. So essentially, Todd Phillips is confirming our suspicions that Arthur Fleck was not the Joker, but instead the inspiration for the actual Joker we know that ends up taking on Batman. And the movie is very much like there's moments where you're getting into it, and then there's a musical, and the musical is very much all in his head. The musical aspects take away from it a lot. There's a lot of singing in this movie, a lot more than I thought there was going to be. Lady Gaga does the best with what she has, and she does a good job of kind of toning down her pop star and polished sung skills to sound more amateur for this role. But and Joaquin Phoenix is great as it was, but he goes back to a lot of the like dancing in the bathroom scene that we get in the first one after he kills the 3 guys in the subway. He goes back to a lot of that. It's just there's a lot of just hodgepodge and mishmash of like it doesn't advance the story. It continues on 2 years, like I said, 2 years after the events of the first one, and you're basically just seeing him on trial for that. So it's a lot of calling back to the event of the first one that we already know, and it just really was not what I was expecting and really didn't sell anything. Like you feel every second of that 2 hours and 18-minute runtime of that movie. Every second. And it is painful at times.
Well, as I did like the first one. Okay.
I love the first one.
But I don't watch it very often because it's so dark and depressing. I've maybe seen it maybe 3 times tops. And so if this one is just as dark, but not as like fulfilling, I guess, as a movie as the first one, then I'm
There's
wait.
no substance in this at all.
Not in a big hurry.
It takes place in 3 different places: that stairwell, the courthouse, 4 different places. The but it's no 3 because it's still technically Arkham. So it takes place at Arkham, the courthouse, and then that stairwell. That's it. You got 3 different points of interest that it takes place in. That's it.
So where'd all the money for this go then?
To who knows?
Gaga.
Money laundering scheme. I don't know. I don't know where
That's
the $200 million budget went to.
That's
But
crazy to me.
like the singing, like I said, the dancing and singing moments were off. It just didn't fit. They changed the Joker Harley dynamic. They didn't even really give Arthur the respect he deserves as the Joker, to being like, oh, he could be that mastermind to persuade his therapist or his psychologist to fall in love with him. Not even a thought. It was very much like in the whole courtroom scene, he's showing off. So it's like they're giving you this sense that at his core, Arthur's nothing more than the ultimate showman. He wants to be nothing more than the ultimate showman to entertain the world. He's not the Joker, and he never was. And when you get the ending, it's like, okay, well, clearly that dude in the background is the Joker, and Arthur is just the catalyst or the inspiration to this copycat that becomes the Joker that we know, that faces off against Batman, because it was kind of set up in the first one that Arthur wasn't that guy and didn't have those abilities. But it would have been nice if they would have showed him his descent and him become that guy versus just a dude in a clown suit. Because at the end of the day, that's essentially what it was called, just a dude in a clown suit. Like it doesn't even need the Joker name attached to it. It could just be called, Clown College Full Ado, or Send in the Clowns, and you don't even need to call him Joker, and the movie doesn't change at all.
Well, okay. So first of all, I just want to preface this by saying I fucking hate Rolling Stone magazine. There's another fucking shitty cog in some corporate machine that sells fake hype for crappy music. But that being said, I saw a headline that I don't even know who the hell wrote this. David Fear. Anyway, headline says Joker.
You say like you know him personally.
No, it's just
fucking David Fear. Fuck that
stupid
guy.
name. It's a stupid name. Anyway, it says Joker Folie à Deux has a message for fans. Go fuck yourselves.
It pretty much does.
And then it says, say what you will about Joker Folie à Deux. It's a different, more tuneful beast than its predecessor. Yeah, no fucking shit. And you couldn't call what they're doing fan service, given its general stance that elevating and emulating disturbed antisocial individuals just because they've tapped into, I can't even say that word, rage is a bad idea. In fact, its sequel is whatever exact opposite of fan service is. During its rare moments of clarity, you'd swear this is actually an indictment of those who flocked to Joker in the first place.
I don't agree with that. It could very much be a very good character study on mental health. But it's like I said, Harley is very the manipulative one. She manipulates him, and there's just a mention of, oh well, she went to college for psychology, so it kind of like nods to her origin, but not quite. But I don't. To me, it's a fuck you to the fans, and the way that like the first one was so good and such a good it was like a masterpiece, and this one was not. Like the first one had depth and it had direction, and this one just kind of felt like it puttered along. Like I said, it really felt like Todd Phillips didn't want to do a second movie, but they backed the Brinks truck up to his front door and said, let's do this because of the success of the Joker. It was the highest rated and highest growing R-rated movie up until this year when Deadpool Wolverine overtook it.
It's crazy.
So, of course he's going to make a sequel if they back the Brinks truck up. And it felt very much like he was mad and disrespected that they made him ask them to make a second one, but he did it, and he did it in a way to make sure they didn't ask him to make a third.
Wow. Well,
Like my wife saw it with me, and I was sitting there, and I was getting into it, and like every time they would do a song, I'd be like, God damn it. And my wife was like, I can tell like when you're into it in the world immersed, and then the minute they're singing, you're pulled out and you're right back here. It's like, yeah, it just takes it away from the movie. And like I said, it would have been nice to see them push further. You get to see a little bit more Joker action, but you only see him really in the Joker makeup, either A, in the singing in his head, or B, in like 2 scenes in the courtroom. That's it.
well, yeah, if this is a message for fans, go fuck yourselves. Well, then fuck you right back. I'm not gonna fucking waste my money to go see it. You
Yeah,
know, all this is gonna cause is HBO Max subscription fees to go up next year.
it'll
Like
be on
all those,
HBO Max probably by the end of
yeah,
the month.
like all those shit Star Wars movies that fucking Marvel keeps shitting out. Those shit fucking Star Wars, the Marvel, it's all total crap. Hence, everyone goes, "What? Disneyland ticket prices are going up?" It's like, well, fuck. How you expect they're gonna fucking pay
Right?
for this horse shit? That they keep squirting out.
Ooh,
It's,
squirting.
well, it's got to end. It's got to
I didn't picture
justify.
you for a squirter, Jay.
Oh, I'm a fucking squirter, man. Um,
Jay will soak you.
um, yeah, and that's what really, really bothers me about all this bullshit, like Agatha and Acolyte and this. You pay for the rights to these fucking things, and you sit there and these people think that they can make something better than stories and characters that have been whittled down to almost perfection through decades of fandom, and it totally just they shit the bed on all occasions, and they sit there and go, what? It's like, what do you expect? It's like, what the hell do you expect when you deviate from source material, tried and true source material? Dude, you got to be a talented motherfucker to fucking think you can do better than some of those writers, than
Yeah.
people like Neil Adams and Len Wein and even Stan Lee. And I mean, gosh, if the way Marvel used to make comics, I mean, Jack Kirby, it's like, dude, you're not gonna measure up, dude. You
Yeah.
know,
Bob
so
Kane.
Bob Kane, Bill Finger, um, yeah, dude, it's mind boggling. So whatever, but haha, we pay for it, whether I like it or not. I'm gonna pay for this, you know.
Yeah.
So whatever.
But like I said, it could have been a good courtroom drama because the courtroom stuff was interesting. But then again, they could have like moved past that and have him break out of Arkham and causing terror and doing Joker-esque things, and you could have ended it with, like, I understand, like we got 3 different Jokers in the comic books. You could have ended it with like you don't even see who's playing Batman, but you just see Batman come out of the alley and arrest him and take him in, and then that ends it. There ends Arthur Fleck, or
But Batman was like a
whatever.
little kid, wasn't he, in
Well, in
this?
the first one, yeah, but this is 2 years later, but yeah,
He
either way,
still have
like,
been like 10
yeah,
or
but I
some
mean, you could
shit.
still have him like terrorizing Gotham while Batman's gone, and that could have been the after credit scene, or you could have seen like I like what they did, showing that he's not the Joker and that he's just the catalyst and the inspiration for the actual Joker.
Yeah.
Like that's fun, but the rest of the movie I could have definitely done without.
Wow. Well, that sucks.
Yeah, I
That's
would
too bad.
not spend your money to go see something like Beetlejuice or Kevin Smith's 4:30 movie, or
Which I still haven't seen. Do we gotta
um
talk about that? Let's talk about that next time.
hang out for Venom or something. But dude, it just swing and a miss on Joker 2, man.
Have you talked about 430 movie at all in any
No,
other?
I haven't. Mm-mm.
Let's talk. I want to talk about it because that's kind of comic booky. You know, I mean,
Uh,
Kevin Smith has done a lot to bring this kind of nerd culture into the
yes, he
spotlight.
has. He has.
You know, so I want to talk about it because you know I'm not a huge. I don't want to get into it, but I still like Kevin Smith and enough to see this movie. um, so I want to talk about it because you're like the only other person that I know. I'm pretty sure likes Kevin Smith as much as I do, or you probably like him more.
I mean, he only married me and my wife.
That's
so,
right, dude. That's crazy.
So, I think I like him a little. I think I like his stuff a little bit. Just a little
Yeah, I'm gonna have him circumcise my kid. That'd be
bit. At 20 years
if
old,
we
or
could do
however
that.
old your son is.
I'll
As
have
an
a
adult, be like,
Ma-
just circumcise him. This is a growing man. No, I don't care. Just go ahead and do it. And then sign the foreskin to J. Love Kevin after
I'll
you're
hang
done.
it up on my wall.
Yeah.
I'll
I
send
mean,
it to
your name's already
CR.
Jay, so you're halfway in there, right? So
Yeah, I'm christening a boat, something.
there you go. That's a little bit more realistic than having him circumcise your adult son.
You never know. um, yeah, but anyway, so one more thing I wanted to get into before we start talking about Absolute Batman is, are you a Voltron fan at all?
No, Voltron was a little bit before me, and I'm more of a Power Rangers guy versus Voltron. I know they're very similar, but
I don't know, kinda.
multiple tiny robots combined to make one giant robot.
Oh, is that what the? Oh, yeah. So I know nothing about Power Rangers.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Kids in brightly colored costumes have individual robots that join together to become one giant robot to fight giant monsters.
oh, that's not like Voltron at all.
Okay.
You got it all wrong, dude.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, apparently Henry Cavill was cast in a live action Voltron series that Amazon's making.
Wonder who he's gonna play. Is he gonna play the giant robot?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you see? Apparently, he's also in talks to come back to play the MCU version of Wolverine.
How old is Henry Cavill?
I don't know.
He's not that young, right?
Let's find out. Guy in the chair. Our guy behind the scenes, who, our producer. Why don't you tell us how old Henry Cavill is? You can't pull it up. What do we pay this guy for? Why do we waste all this money on?
He's 41.
Oh, there we go. So good job, Jay. You had to get it before the guy that we pay to do this stuff. That was just hired as we were talking about it.
That's not that young, dude. I just wish
41's pretty young.
I wish they would get a young dude that they can take. Well, okay, so how old is what's his face? Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman's what, like in his 50s or 60s?
Okay.
Huge jacked man. Jackman's 55.
So it's 15 years. So you can squeeze maybe 4 or 5 movies out of this.
You got to remember though, these are Hollywood actors. They don't age like us. They have the money to pay all the people that keep them young and looking young, and so Henry Cavill you could probably get a good amount of X-Men movies out of Cavill.
I mean,
out of the Calverine.
I guess if he starts looking like Old Man Logan after a while, but
where like when you look at that movie, like
he's pretty badass.
Jackman is ripped, but Cavill is shredded. Like,
yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. Um, those few seconds we got of Calverine were pretty badass. Like
Yes, they were. Which
he
makes me
nailed it.
super stoked that they want to bring him into the MCU.
Yeah, yeah. So that would be cool. Um, but yeah, I'd be all for that. As long as they don't bring what's his face as Gambit, dude.
You don't want Channing
Ugh,
Tatum back as Gambit?
dude, that was awful.
I want him. I loved it. It makes me want a Gambit movie so bad.
That one dude was way better.
No
Taylor,
way.
yeah,
No way.
he totally moved, and he had the same dude. That one dude was all puffy. What
No
the
way.
hell's
Dude, other than the accent, Channing Tatum killed that role.
here's my
He-
impression of Tatum in that fucking Gambit. Fucking
he did look a little puffy, like he
Yeah,
could
little.
drop some LBs to play him, but his movement was good, especially like with the cards.
And he's just too bulky, dude.
His fighting with the bow staff and stuff was all good, and
Gambit's supposed to be svelte.
you make sure they remember what happened here today. I shot out of my daddy ready.
I don't know.
I loved it. Give me more.
Taylor Kitsch I thought was way cooler.
No way. He sucks. Everything
he-
about that movie sucks.
Except Gambit.
Yeah, including
Gambit was
Gambit.
badass.
No. His little helicopter on his staff as he
That's
comes
what he
flying in.
does.
Nah, trash.
Okay, guess you just don't like Gambit.
You're like
then.
dropping down to pepperoni levels now, Jay.
Mm-mm.
I can't take you seriously when you're telling me this stuff.
No way. Hashtag no puffy Gambit. That's where I stand.
Hashtag puff up Gambit.
So speaking of puffed up, let's get into Absolute Batman.
Yeah, Absolute Batman #1 came out this week, part of DC's new all-in, with Scott Snyder writing. You had Nick DeGrata as the artist and Frank Martin at a whopping $4.99 cover price. You had multiple covers. You had your Absolute Batman A cover, and then you also had a Virgin foil that I picked up for it. What was your what would you think about Absolute Batman?
Overhyped.
Overhyped, huh?
Yeah. It was fine.
You got a new Batman. We finally got a new original reinvented Batman. You got a Alfred Pennyworth that is a special agent of sorts. I think the way it's going, Alfred is going to end up being the one who trains.
Mentor.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Versus
which is kind of cool. I don't mind that.
Versus the butler.
Some of the things that I guess are supposed to mean something, like that. I kind of liked that they're. So are we spoiling this?
Yeah, absolutely. It's
okay
on store. Well, it's sold out places, but people have had it now and they've had a chance to read it. They can read it online. I think it's fair game.
So I kind of liked what they kind of did to Joker. That was kind of original. Dude that just never laughs. That's why you call him the Joker, I guess, in an ironic sort of way. That was
like
cool.
The very end of the book.
Yeah, that was cool. I did like
which on that I think is a misstep because I don't like that they're gonna bring the Joker in so
fast. Yeah, I know. But that's what everyone's clamoring for. I fucking guarantee it. If they wouldn't have mentioned Joker in this, it would be like, oh, yeah, what about Joker? Why did you talk about Joker?
Well, and they kind of pigeonhole themselves too, because the majority of Bruce's rogues gallery, you find out, are now childhood friends.
Like his poker buddies.
Yeah, they're childhood friends. And then you have, I mean, I like what they did to Black Mask with the giant head.
And it's like octopus cronies.
Yeah, his like, I can't remember what they call them, but they're like the cronies that are like terrorizing everybody that Pennyworth was brought in to try to stop. I like the origin change where Batman's mom is still alive.
Yeah.
Bruce doesn't have all the gadgets. He
He's
kind
got
of has to.
enough.
He's really only got the suit. Like,
I mean, he's got the stabby ears. He's got
yeah,
that
like
axe.
every part of his suit is detachable in a weapon. So, like, yeah, on the cowl, the points of the ears, he can take those off and use those as weapons. He's got like the little pair of pliers that turn into like a giant battle axe. It was sweet.
The cape itself is kind of a weapon.
Well, the
Like,
cape itself is more what's the word I'm looking for? It's more
he
like
fucks
a
people
bat.
up with it.
It's
He
more like
fucks
a
people
bat's
up with
wing
it.
because
Yeah.
the edges of it come out like a hook. So it's anatomy. It's more
Like
you know,
anatomically
close,
correct.
yes, to a bat. And you get to see like his you find out that his dad still dies, but he dies at a shooting at the zoo, you know, instead of in Crime Alley, and his mom lives, and you get to see just a lot of stuff. Like, he is towering, and like you said, every part of his cape and every part of his suit can be used as a weapon. And you know, he kind of has that confrontation with Pennyworth, and they kind of one up each other and stuff. And so I liked where it started. I like these changes because you think, how much can they change to a character that's been around for 80 years and kind of been there, done that with all of it. And, you know, that DC kind of holds so close to the chest that they don't, they don't let people do certain things with them, or, you can only use certain characters and this, that, and the other thing. But I really liked how cunning he was, to where he takes like Alfred's gun, like shotgun, and redesigns it to be non-lethal, shoots him in the shoots him with it, and then goes, "Here you go," as a way to like taunt him, and then steals his motorcycle that's got a bunch of tech in it. So he's stealing things to fight crime. So he doesn't have, like, really, the only tech he really has is that suit.
The suit. And that's pretty techy. I mean, I get that everybody's gripe about Bruce Wayne is that he's got money and he beats up on poor people, so I get that. I knew they were gonna, and you hear about it in the, like, the headlines of it, the press releases that he's not gonna have money, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I knew that was coming. But the fact that he's got money explains a lot,
Yeah.
and that's what some of the things that in this that I'm like, well, how does he know how to do that? Well, how does he get that? How did he make this? If he's like a really poor, how can he afford all these jujitsu lessons and, Brazilian martial arts lessons? How can you? It's like the
He's just
money
kind of like a
explains all
straight
that.
he's kind of like just a straight brawler, man. Like, you see him walk into that boxing gym, and he just beats the shit out of that punching bag. So
Yeah.
he's kind of just built himself up to be a brick shit house, and he's just kind of a brawler. Like, there's not a lot of finesse to his stuff. Like I said, he's kind of just that big brooding brawler. You don't really see him do a lot of jujitsu and
Oh, well, Alfred calls out all his moves,
yeah,
you know, and that, yeah, he's like, "Oh, you do this. Oh, that's a little bit of this. Oh,
yeah,
that's, you've studied this." And I'm like,
self-taught
"Okay."
probably. Who knows?
Yeah. And, um, the bulkiness, I have a little bit of issue with when they have him being all nimble and acrobatic. I'm like, "Dude, when you're that massive, it's like, you don't move that way." It would be cool if he just charged in there like a fucking steamroller, like the fucking Terminator. That would be badass. But dude, it's like, dude, when you're like, it's like sometimes they have his arms looking like, and his legs like as big as his chest and shit.
You didn't like that his big bulky bat symbol was the head of the battle axe, so when he pulls out the handle, he like connects it to it and then pulls it out. And
No, that was badass. That his the way he was some of those things that he I liked the battle axe, I liked the cape weapon, I like the spikes coming out of his jacket, but I don't know, man. It's like I get it's a comic book and I get it's straight up, you know, fiction, but sometimes I'm like some parameters that I'm like, "Wha," but it was fine. I liked how they made Alfred kind of like the narrator.
Yeah.
You're kind of this is all unfolding kind of through Alfred's eyes. And you don't know who he is. He works for somebody. He's very well funded. He's well equipped, well trained. And yeah, at the end, he's kind of got like he and Batman gets under his skin, but you can tell there's like a respect,
Yeah.
you know. And yeah, like you were saying, he turns his gun into a non-lethal weapon right before he shoots him in the face,
Right.
which is pretty cool. So yeah, that would be cool if Alfred kind of takes him under his wing and becomes his mentor. And um, I miss Alfred from the core storyline, man. Fuck Tom King for killing him off, but um, I don't know. I think Batman needs a character like that. He needs a touchstone. He needs someone to keep him grounded.
Yeah.
Who's he got now? He fucking doesn't have anybody. Fucking Damian Wayne.
He's a
Fuck
little
that kid.
murdering psychopath himself.
Yeah, he's got shit, dude. I guess he's got great Dick Grayson, but Dick Grayson's off fucking around in Bloodhaven. But I don't know. I liked it. It was fine, but I guess with so much hype, dude, sometimes I just believe in it. I start getting wrapped up in it, and I read it. I'm like, like if I would have picked this up, and I've been like, oh, yeah, that's not too bad, But
Well, there's like it's interesting, like whereas like he doesn't have a cave, he just uses these buildings that he knows are have floors that are meant for certain class of people because he helped build them.
yeah, they're
He was
vacant.
on he was on the construction crew. So like you see him at the top floor of that tower with all that computer gear, like that kind of stuff. For an issue 1, I think it's a great start. I'm excited for issue 2. I'm a little sad that they're gonna bring the Joker in quite this quick, but it's Scott Snyder. He usually does great things with the Joker, so I have full faith in him. Um, but yeah, I loved the fact. I loved. I really enjoyed it. Like it was a fun read. Like I said, I liked the fact that the ears on the cowl come off into knives, and he throws them like batarangs, and then puts them back in. Or like when Alfred's gonna jump him with the shotgun, he kicks him in the chest, and then takes his gun and makes it non-lethal. And then, like you said, then Alfred tries to sneak up on him, so Bruce shoots him in the face, and then drops the shotgun as kind of like a fuck you, or taunting him, and then steals his motorcycle, and you see him like jump off the roof with the motorcycle and stuff. And I'm so stoked for issue 2. I can't wait. It was a good read.
It was like you said, it was a fun read, and it flowed well. I was never bored. Um, so the art was pretty cool. Like I said, the bulkiness got a little out of hand at times. Um, I like that he was brutal as fuck. I miss this kind of shit.
You just don't like them thick boys, huh?
Not for he was like Juggernaut big. That's a
He's
little
built like a
much.
brick shit house, man.
It's a little much, but I like that he just fucked up those bad, party animals.
Yeah, that's what they're
Um,
called, the party animals.
yeah. And yeah,
Yeah,
it was cool. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like super stoked, but I'm definitely gonna read the second issue. You know what I'm not all that stoked on? That new Wonder Woman. The more I see pages of it, like previews of it and stuff,
Absolute Wonder Woman.
yeah, I'm just kind of like, this doesn't look so good.
Yeah,
And Gail Simone is real hit or miss, dude. Like real hit or miss. Like the Scarlet series that she's doing right now, it's pretty cool. But she did like I remember trying to read some of their Captain Marvel stuff. Not so good. So I don't know.
You know what else that came out this week that was kind of anticlimactic for me that
What?
was built up? ASM 59.
Oh, I haven't read it yet.
I won't spoil it for you, but it was built up for this big confrontation between Spider-Man and Tombstone, and they were hyping it, and it does not live up to the hype. It's a quick read, but it just did not live up to the hype for me. But we have one more issue, issue 60, and that's it for Zeb Wells. That's all she wrote for Zeb Wells.
So have
So
they announced who's
hopefully,
taking it over?
I think it was Jeff Loeb is taking it over to do the um 6 deaths of Spider-Man or 12 deaths of Spider-Man, something like that.
Dang, Jeff Loeb's old school. Huh.
I think that's what it's called, 6 deaths of Spider-Man. Oh, sorry, 8 deaths of Spider-Man.
Those 2 deaths are very important.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, no, it's not Jeff Loeb, it's Joe Kelly.
Oh, I was going to say Jeff Loeb. Wow.
Joe Kelly and art by Ed McGuinness.
Oh, not bad.
Some so for that because I love Ed McGuinness's art on Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I don't know, dude. I think, when in talking about it more, I think I was a victim of hype on this.
On which one? Batman?
On Batman, Absolute Batman. I just thought shit was just gonna be radically different, you know. But and I'm like, what? This isn't all that much. I mean, there
Subtle
is,
differences.
yeah. And then of course we got the race swapped Barbara Gordon.
Yeah, but you're only
know.
seeing,
And she's a cop.
yeah, you're only seeing the first issue. So
Yeah.
I think this book, give it at least 4 to 5 issues and then judge it. But I don't know.
It's my right as an American to judge.
It
right
is.
now.
Judge away, my friend. Be like everybody else in this hobby and
Fuck Absolute Batman.
judge.
No, it's cool enough, man. I'm staying on this train. I'm definitely.
But with that being said, what's coming out next week on the 16th that you're looking forward to?
Okay, so first of all, I've decided to make a change in my life.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Getting real life, big, deep life lessons here.
I have been reading books that I'm starting to sit there and I'm thinking, why do I read this every month? It's total shit. I like the
It's
characters.
FOMO. It's FOMO because you're afraid like something's awesome is gonna happen, and then you're not gonna have that issue. You're gonna have to like try to find it somewhere online, or I don't know if you pay eBay prices or secondhand prices for things, or wait for YouTubers to cover it or whatever. But yeah, it's pure FOMO.
Yeah. There's a lot of that, and a lot of them it's just like, I like Barry Allen. I like Hal Jordan. I want to see what they're, I kind of see these stupid little single issues as like, their little glimpse into their lives, and I like it. I like those heroes, but the stories sometimes are just god awful. Like fucking dude. Oh
Yeah.
man. So I'm cutting it all out. I'm cutting a lot of it out. I'm just slimming down my pull list a lot. So stuff that I'm still getting, Ultimate Spider-Man number 10 comes out the 16th.
Yeah,
Getting
looking
that.
forward to that.
I'm still gonna get Nightwing because he's my favorite. Number 118. Uncanny number 4. Uncanny number 4? I thought that.
Yep, Uncanny number 4.
I'll probably still get Titans and Wolvie, even though I still haven't even read Wolverine number 1. And that looks like about it, dude. I'm cutting out that Dark Knights of Steel because, that's about it, dude.
Dang,
I'm trimming the fat.
I'm telling you, you need to get on that Spider-Man rain train.
I want to read the first one first. before I get into this.
For me, it's going to be Ultimate Spider-Man 10, of course. Uncanny X-Men 4, like you said. Miles Morales 25. Then we got Spectacular Spider-Man number 8. Then it's going to be The Last Ronin number 3. For sure, been waiting for that for months. I'm going to check out Mystique number 1. Check out the new Mystique miniseries. Spider-Man Reign number 4. I'm going to check out Venom War Venomous number 3, probably, because I've kind of been all about that Venom War stuff. What else comes out next week that I'm going to check out? Penthouse Comics. Check out Penthouse Comics. Pervert. Barfly number 3. I'm going to definitely pick that up.
Pick what up?
It's called Barfly. It's written by Patton Oswalt.
Oh.
From the it's from his Minor Threat stuff.
Oh.
Where Monsters Lie, part 2, the cul-de-sac number 1. I'm gonna pick that up, probably because the first series was so good. Maybe Ice Cream Man.
Dude, you're loading up.
Yeah, and I get a lot, man. It's kind of a problem. It's kind of a problem.
Yeah, I used to, and then I'm sitting there, like I said, I haven't even read Wolverine number 1 yet, but I've been reading all these other crappy issues, and I'm sitting there thinking, why am I reading this that's total garbage when I've got cool stuff in my pile that I still haven't picked up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I think for a while I'm just gonna trim it. I'm gonna trim it up. I'm gonna trim up, all those G.I. Joe ones. Yeah, I need to manscape my pull list. If you're gonna pick up Mystique number 1, maybe I will. We'll talk about it.
Heck yeah, man.
Because I am curious. I feel like maybe we should make it like a point to try and review number 1s.
I'm down with that.
So yeah, I think Storm number 1 came out this week.
I didn't pick it up. I stayed away from it. This week, the books that came out this week, which would be the week of
the 9th.
The 9th. I got Amazing Spider-Man 59, Absolute Batman, of course, Exceptional X-Men number 2, Venom 38, Sentinels number 1, Spider-Man Black Suit and Blood number 3.
Oh, you picked up Sentinels, huh?
I did. I haven't read it yet. Johnny Quest number 3, Transformers 13, and
I gotta catch up with that.
2099 number 1.
I want to catch up to Transformers. Everybody loves it, and I feel like, see, that's the fucking FOMO. That's what I fear right there.
Everybody loves it, so you feel like you're missing something.
Yeah, apparently I am.
It's a good read. I haven't read it. I haven't read the new issue yet, but I'm kind of behind. But
dude, I'm like 13 issues behind. So
but
hopefully,
so far the new books I picked up this week, all I read was Amazing Spider-Man and Absolute Batman. So I got some reading to do this weekend.
Yeah, dude, I think I'm gonna try to binge Transformers. Because I like them. I was not too big of a fan of the movies, but I love the cartoons. The animated series as a kid. So like they're good characters. I like a lot of the characters in the lore. So I don't know why I didn't just. I don't know, dude. I think Void Rivals kind of soured me. I was kind of like, this is kind of dull.
I still read Void Rivals. I still like it, but
you didn't pick up the new X-Force?
I didn't. Did I not?
That's what I'm thinking about trimming off too.
Yeah, I don't think I did. I think I trimmed it.
Yeah,
I cut the fat on it.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that.
That's the other thing that, like, doing these kind of shows like this and SNS, like, I see the covers, the variants. I'm like, fuck, I want the cover. The cover's so sick, and I have no intention of ever reading the book. I just buy it because I want the cover. But that's it.
Yeah, man, I think that about does it.
Yeah. Let us know in the comment section below what you're reading, what you're picking up at your LCS. If there's something that you're reading that we're not, that we should be aware of and should be on our radar, make sure to let us know. If you want us to start reviewing number ones, let us know that as well. Let us know what you like or dislike about the show in the comment section below. Let's make this a comic book community, a comic book book club of sorts, I guess you could say. And so we'll shut the case file on another episode of Comic Book Confidential. And I'm Matt.
And I'm Jay.
Saying we'll see you around the spinner rack.